Yo, what's up guys, Insane Game Freak here to bring you another top 10. But this one we're going to do, it's video game related. And this one's going to be on Fire Emblem Awakening. And I already know how this is going to go, because I still would say it's probably what Borderline said is probably my favorite game on the 3DS. Even now, even a year after it's almost, I think, yeah, it's been about a year after its release, I probably still will say Fire Emblem Awakening is like my favorite game on the 3DS currently. It might actually stay to be my favorite game on the 3DS depending on how things go. But we know we got some time, we got some good games coming out this year, so we'll see. But that's not the point. One of my favorite things about Fire Emblem Awakening is the characters. And you know, with these kind of characters, we're going to have to do a top 10. But this one, I'll be honest with you, was kind of hard to make because Fire Emblem has a lot. This game has a lot of good characters in it. It's so hard to pick, but I've narrowed down the list. Mine is going to be somewhat unconventional because I'm pretty sure some of these characters wouldn't even be on this list. I actually know at least 2 or 3 of these characters that wouldn't be on this list. But it's my list. It's what I want to do. I'm pretty sure I'm going to get some Fire Emblem fans fanboying and maybe raging. Obviously, Fire Emblem Awakening was my first game of the series. I don't know too much of the history of the other games. But this is Fire Emblem Awakening. These are my top 10 characters. Let's start off with a character who I can relate to on a particular level. And that is Gaius. See, you get it? Because he likes sweets and I'm overweight. It's okay, you can laugh. Okay, but in all seriousness, Gaius is one of those characters who suffers kind of a problem that a few of these characters you suffer from, which is that when you first interact with him, you don't realize you can recruit him. Meaning, on my first playthrough, I killed Gaius because I didn't realize I could recruit him. And that was the playthrough in which I killed a few characters, particularly, and I was playing on casual, so I could just restart the stage and got them again. But at that point, I was just kind of doing a casual play. I didn't think I liked the game as much as I did. So when I went through my second playthrough was when I grabbed him. And that thief class is so helpful, because that means I don't have to carry around keys like an idiot. And 2, if you get that man an archer, he will snipe the shit out of you. I also just like his personality. You know, the fact that it actually relates to a pun. I don't know if anyone caught it. He likes sweets and he's a thief. He has sticky fingers. Oh, was that bad? I'm sorry. Anyways, that's Gaius. He's number 10. Moving on is to a character who pretty much is on this list, particularly because I have a bias towards these types of characters. And that is Olivia, the dancer. Now, Olivia, when I first got her, I didn't even understand why you would keep her as the dancer class. I understand it's a support class, but like, Olivia's actually not that bad once you actually like switch her classes and have her like level up and give her some good abilities to carry over. She can do a ridiculous amount of damage and just go in like a G. I also like her personality. She's very shy and timid, but she seems to be that kind of person who's very shy but very observant, meaning she won't really necessarily talk out loud in front of people, but she notices a lot of things that other people don't, because she's spending a lot of her time being quiet, observing everything. She's even in certain support conversations, she'll call people out on their BS. Not like in a dickish manner, but you know, a nice way of doing it. It's kind of like, I see through your facade that you're trying to put up because you're trying to be brave. And that's kind of why I like Olivia. She's like that. She's like the songbird of the group. You know, she's there for kind of the entertainment because she's a dancer. Plus, that Indigo is hilarious. I mean, she even does it with her own son. Because with Indigo, there's like this cute support conversation, which Indigo is embarrassed about his dancing, which is really funny considering Indigo is a playboy, but he actually does have his little embarrassing moments, and it's kind of a cool mother-son bonding moment. I don't know, I like Olivia. Moving on. Speaking of future children, we might as well talk about one that I think almost everybody loves just because of his ridiculousness. That's my boy Owain. I don't even... Do I need to explain why Owain is on... The man, his sword hand, son, his sword hand. Come on now. I don't even want to explain that any further. The only thing I will say is that, Lisa, I am surprised that you had a son this crazy. And see, we gotta understand, when I paired Lisa up, the two characters I paired her up with so far is Libra and Long Q. I don't see any combination of those genes mixing that would give you something like Owen. But even though Owen's existence confuses us, we do not mind him being around, because at the very least he makes things entertaining as fuck. Moving on to more future children, and I think everyone loves. I love her. I love this next one. She is awesome. She is like my favorite of the future children. Actually, she is the last future child on this list, actually, and that is, and I think it's kind of obvious, Lucina. Oh my god. It's like when I first found out about the game and Marth, and see, the thing is, I've never played the game Marth is from, so Marth just came off as a pretty board to me. So I was like, oh, the new Fire Emblem was gonna have Marth in it. I was like, well, maybe this will give me a chance to like Marth. They're like, no, I'm gonna pretend to be Marth for a little while, and then, hey, boom, bitch, it's Lucina, and I'm like, Lucina, oh my god, I love you. If I wasn't already married when I meet you, I swear to God. She's such a, she, I mean, a lot of people say she's a female Chrom, but I like the whole thing with her and Chrom. The fact that she's like, she comes off as this really tough hardened warrior, but she's still like this little girl. Like a lot of her support conversations with specifically like Chrom and her mother are usually these like father-daughter or mother-daughter moments, even though like Lucina obviously living in a world ruled by war and pain and strife and shit, she doesn't know how to like properly interact with these situations, but she's so excited about them, and it makes her so fucking cute. It's ridiculous. I love Lucina. You don't even know, man. I love Lucina. Let's move on to number 6. And staying within that family line is Chrom. And people are like, why is Chrom so low? Listen, Chrom is not low because he's a bad main character. I like Chrom. I like how he handles things, and I like how he thinks about things. Even when shit goes wrong, and you as the Avatar have fucked up royally, he's the one thing that comes out of his mouth is don't blame yourself. This is not your fault. You have just killed this man, because you see that in the beginning of the game. You just kill him, and the thing he says to you while he's dying is, "This is not your fault." That struck a chord with me. He's like my second favorite in terms of personality. He has to be my favorite because I haven't been introduced to any of the other ones. But in terms of appearance and cool factor, he's like second to Ike, because I'm such a Ike fanboy. I still need to play his games too. I'll get to them, damn it. But Chrom is cool, so don't take this as a hate thing on Chrom for him being so low. It's just that all the characters are pretty awesome in their own right, and like Chrom is cool for main character coolness, but everyone else is kind of cool for their own weird ass kooky reason. And getting into that, we have number 5, which is our Panay. Panay. Oh my god, Panay. Panay, for those who don't know, has a secondary love from me. Panay, for those who don't know from the game, is a Tagul. A Tagul is pretty much like a rabbit demon monster, I guess, that she can turn into. And if you know anything about me, you know I love rabbits. Naturally, I was drawn to her. And then the fact that she's really good in battle made it even better. I was like... She's actually introduced within the same chapter. You see Lucina as Lucina for the first time and not Marth. And I was like, Panay, we need to hang out more. And that's where my bias for Panay came from, because Panay, it's like, I'm pairing you up with a character I really like. I think in the first game I paired her up with my favorite male character at the time. And in the second playthrough, I've paired her up with my second favorite male character at the time, which is obviously number 1 and number 2, so we'll get to them. Panay, I like her. It's kind of weird because she has such a weird personality to me. Like, she's all about the whole Toggle thing. Like, you know, Taku preserving her clan, and she's very distant from humans. And then she gets married and she has a child. And she's all about acting human towards her Toggle, her half Toggle son. And I'm like, which is funny if you know Yarnin, because that... her son is so crazy to me. This is because he's a beast, but his personality is hilarious. But yeah, moving on to number 4, my second favorite female, and I know a lot of people's favorite female, Tharja. Come on. Do I even need to explain Tharja in all seriousness? Tharja's fan base is retarded. And I don't mean that in a negative context. I'm saying that in the sense of it's kind of hard to play this game and not like Tharja. She's the first, I believe, dark mage you get in the game. She's a stalker, and she automatically has a crush on the main character from the get-go. I actually played it with a girl. She still stalks you. If like I did the first playthrough I did as a guy, and the second playthrough I did as a girl. She still stalks you even if you're a girl. Tharja does not give a flying fuck, and it's creepy. It's disturbing. I mean, for God's sakes, her confession, like her marriage confession scene, is still like, I can't believe you made me love you, but if you ever back out, I'll kill. Like, she threatens you all the time. Like, even, and I've had her marry like some interesting characters. Like, I think on Libra's the dude I had her marry on the first run. For some reason, I can't think of who I had her. I think I had her marry Vake on the second run. I'm not totally sure. That whole relationship is ridiculous. And then considering how insane her daughter is, it's just like, Tharja, I love you. And also, she's voiced by Stephanie Sheh, so that's always a plus. I actually thought it was Tara Strong when I first heard the voice, which would have just made it even better, because if it was Tara Strong, that's Raven, and I would be like, that completely correlates. But it's not. It's Stephanie Sheh, but it's cool. She's still hot, still love her voice, still love her personality. Tharja for the win. And now we get to my favorite female. And this one's kind of a weird bias because technically she's the first female ally character you're introduced to. And that is Sully. Sully is the tomboy. She was my waifu on the first run. Because Sully is awesome to me. I don't know. I usually don't go for tomboy girl. I like tomboyish girls. The thing about Sully I like is that Sully's like that good mixture of being like a tomboy, but she's still, you know, she can act feminine when she wants to or when she really needs to. Well, not even when she needs to, but when she wants to. And it makes her so cute because she doesn't know what the fuck she's doing sometimes, but it's just awesome. Like the whole marriage interaction with your main character, how it's kind of like a bromance. Like that's how her like marriage thing feels. It felt for me, and I clicked with that right off the bat. It was awesome. I think anyone who had me added on my Facebook, you saw the first picture I took of Fire Emblem was Sully's confession because I felt so fucking excited and ecstatic. Look, it's fucking Sully. My waifu. All right, and my last two favorite characters, one of which became this high on my list because I used them on this run. I didn't get to use them on my first run, but I used them on my second run. And that is Donald. Oh my God, Donald. Oh my God, Donald. For those who did not get the pleasure of using Donald, and there's obvious reasons why, Donald is one of the characters that would drive you up a fucking wall just to grind because he is such a pain to grind in the beginning. But when you get Donald later, you can't fuck with this man. Donald is on God status. This man runs around with his lance in the palm of his head, and he's like, who can take my life today, motherfuckers? People come at him with axes. People come at him with lances. People come at him with swords. Some people turn into fucking animals and attack him. Donald just fucking dodges everything and then shanks you with his own lance. He doesn't give a fuck. Donald does not give a flying fuck. And that's why... Also, the country bumpkin thing with him, I thought was so endearing, especially his whole like relationship conversation with Panay, who is the one I paired him up with for this run, the second run. That conversation, because you would think in that particular relationship, Panay would probably be the dominant one, but no, Donald spent all that time in the forest and animals and shit. So, like, the majority of their relationship conversations is, like, her trying to beat out his traps, and she can't touch him. It's retarded. And Donald's like, marry me. And she's like, cool. I respect your strength. And I was like, Donald is a G. He's a G. When you make Panay, of all characters, submit to you, you have won. The only other character that would have made that it's cool is if it was Tharja, which I'm tempted to try on my third run, because that I feel like that would be funny as hell. But needless to say, Donald is G. Donald is G, man. I love Donald. And now for my favorite, that I'm pretty sure is on no one's number one. And you wanna know why he's probably not on no one's number one? Because nobody fucking remembers him. That's right. It's Kel. I think it's. I've heard the name pronounced Kellum and Kelum, but I'm calling him Kellum. I love Kellum. Kellum appeals to something that I haven't felt in a while, and it's with a particular character from the Naruto series. So you Naruto fans, listen up. Actually, I'm pretty sure you already know who it is because if you know Kellum, you already know the character I'm referring to. I'm referring to Shino. Shino was one of those characters from Naruto I enjoyed, but I only got to enjoy a little bit because of how little he was used. And then Kellum appeared to me as this character who has the same exact gag, you know. He's never seen, and like, almost, and even his like battle cries is like, maybe this will get me noticed. And I'm like, I find that endearing that he works so hard for people to see him. And then like his confession, I believe his confession was something because he was like my husband though, because as I said, I played the second run as a girl. Obviously, Kellum was going to be the husband in that situation because fuck that. I'm not going anywhere else. If Kellum is my favorite male character, that shit doesn't change no matter what gender I am in terms of the gameplay. I don't give a fuck. I think his was something along the lines, and maybe I'm remembering this wrong, but it was something along the lines of maybe not everyone can see me, but the fact that you can makes it worth it or something along those lines. And if that's not it, maybe I'm just implying my own thoughts into him. But Kellum's just cool. He's fun though. He's just fun. I like playing with a character who is so self-conscious or just like about how no one sees him, and it makes it. He has some of the funniest reaction scenes because like every scene he's in half the time, it's like his introduction scene, for example. He's introduced the same time Sumi's class is introduced, and it's literally like a turn. I think like a turn or two goes by, and then like and then Kellum's just chilling behind him. And Crom's giving out orders, and then Kellum's like, "What should I do, sir?" He's like, "Oh shit!" It's like, "Who are you?" It's like, "Who are you?" It's like, "I've been here the entire time, sir." "Oh really? I didn't fucking know." Oh, Kellum, I love you, man. You were awesome. You were awesome. Oh my god. But yeah, those are my top 10 Fire Emblem Awakening characters. If you have not played Fire Emblem Awakening yet, something is wrong with you. You have a 3DS, use it. It's so good. So good, so good, so good. But please leave your thoughts and comments in the comment section below. And if you have your own top 10 for Fire Emblem Awakening characters, make it and send it to me as a PM because we have no video responses because I like to see it and see your reasonings behind it. But yeah, that's essentially it. So, this has been the Insane Game Freak. That's a game, play to win, and I'll catch you guys later. Peace.